Hi, everyone. Welcome back to 5 Years Time Podcast. We're trying something new this week, which is me recording. Literally, I just rolled out of bed and Trevor must be at the gym or maybe he's downstairs. I don't know. But, anyways, I realized that, wait, did I say welcome back to 5 Years Time Podcast? Did I say hey, cuties? I'm like so out of my game right now because let's get back into it. Anyways, rolled out of bed. And prior to rolling out of bed, I woke up at like 5:45 and nobody was awake in the house. Like, Ro didn't need me. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go on my phone. And then I'm like going through my day in my head. I usually do that when I wake up. I like go through my mental checklist of the day. I was like, yeah, I'm going to record the podcast. Mom wants to get her nails done. Oh, yeah, Becca's coming for dinner. I wanted to do a homemade pasta, all these things. And then all of a sudden I'm like, wait. It's Tuesday. I do have to record the podcast, but I told my mom that I would pick her up after I get Ro and we're going to go do our nails and get stuff done. And I was like, oh no, when will I record the podcast? Then I was like, okay, it's okay. I'm going to record the podcast this afternoon. And then I was like, oh, wait, no, I wanted to make the homemade pasta. And I have so many videos to edit. I filmed so many videos yesterday for TikTok. Like, I was just in a video filming mood. Anyways, I'm really excited to edit those. And I'm like, wait, I'm not going to have time because I want to do the pasta. Who knows how long I'll be with my mom. And then I have to get Ro. And I was like, okay, then Becca comes and she stays and watches shows. So I can't even record this evening. And I all of a sudden like started that feeling of like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? But you know what? All of a sudden, oh, sorry, my notifications are on. I just texted Trevor. He is home just to let him know that just in case Ro comes home or Ro come home, she's home. Just in case Ro wakes up, that I wanted to finish recording the podcast and to get her sorted for breakfast. And he is home, and that's great. So awesome. I was gonna say my only concern is that Rosie's gonna walk in here at some point and I'll have to leave to deal and get her breakfast sorted. But everything's going to work out. Anyways, long story short is that I just decided, you know what? Why not just do it now? I literally have everything set up. I just need to write my outline really quick and I'll just record the podcast now. I was like, oh no, I'm not going to be able to make a drink of the week, but I did. So don't worry. There's a drink of the week coming. But I am using my phone, which means it's going to lock me out. So I just need to make sure my notes are open. And I'm just going to lean forward to turn off the sound of my computer just in case any notifications come through. So 1 second. Okay, we're ready. So, welcome to this week's episode of Grace in the Early Morning. Good morning, cuties. I'm so happy you've come to join me. I'm wearing my favorite sleep shirt. It's my sleep shirt. Margaritaville sleep shirt from Margaritaville, Niagara Falls, where I got this row. Trevor got it for me, but Rosie picked it out for me for my birthday. I think like 3 years ago or 2 years ago. I don't remember. Anyways, I love this shirt so much. It's got a giant graphic on the back. Fun fact, Margaritaville is one of my favorite places, not necessarily for food, but actually they do have a really good taco salad. I don't know if they still have it, but for margarita flights, you can get this little flight. I think they have two different options that have four different flavors, and it is so fun and so delicious. So if you're ever near a Margaritaville, they tend to be in like airports when you're traveling, or Niagara Falls, and want to go get some drinks, enjoy the margarita flight. It is delicious. They're all blended margaritas. Yum. Anywho, that's what I'm wearing today. And I have my sleep voice on. I literally have not seen myself till right now, and I look beautiful, morning fresh, which is how I always look, just in case you were wondering. But let's get into the to this episode. We're gonna, of course, start with a catch up, but I just want to give you a little tell all of what I guess not tell all, a little teaser of what this week's episode is about. And it is all about keeping calm and moving on. I feel like this is something that I actually was like thinking of an episode title for this episode because I want to talk about how I've really come to learn to be or like foster the ability to really what is it called? To really like work through a pressure moment where I feel like I'm just going to lose my ish, but I managed to stay calm and know that everything will move on and move forward. And so I was thinking of a title for this week's episode, And I was like, obviously, you want to keep calm. And then it's just about moving on. And I was like, oh my gosh, remember when those posters were like literally everywhere? Like, every mug said keep calm, move on, planner, everything. It's like I didn't get it then, but I get it now. And I also remember that we had in res, like, all the boys' rooms had like a poster that said like keep calm, water pong, like, because in res you weren't allowed to drink. Well, you weren't allowed to show that you were drinking, so you played water pong. I don't know if that's like a only I would know that, but I think it's a shared experience. Anywho, that's what we're talking about today. But let's jump into the catch up. So, this past week, I feel like I have been making so much bread. I am just like on a bread kick. I'm trying to make a new bread every week. I made a bread last night for dinner. I wasn't going to make it like yesterday. That wasn't my plan. I was like, oh, yeah, some point this week. And then we were having fish and like a vegetable side. And I was like, I think a loaf of bread would be nice with this. And the bread recipe was like super easy, um like 2 hour no knead recipe. Like, you basically throw it together, let it sit for 2 hours, and then bake it. So I was like, I'm gonna do it, and it was delicious. I feel like that's a bread that's probably only good the day of. Not only good, but best the day of, which all bread is, but I will try some this morning with toast and jam and see what it's like. But yeah, so I've been on a big bread kick. I went and got a new huge bag of flour and a jar of yeast, and it has just been such a fun adventure. I'm now at the point where there's so many that I want to make, so I'm asking like Instagram and TikTok like what bread I should make next, and also share the recipes that are good because I don't know. So I can't wait till we get to the week of like croissants. I feel like that's going to be so difficult, so it'd probably be later down the run. But I just like really want to try making homemade croissants. I haven't even looked into it. Sorry, I'm yawning. I haven't even looked into it. But I know that it's like a million layers of flaky goodness. So I'm sure you have to like roll and 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 roll. But I think it'll be fun. Yeah, so that's been like a big hobby of mine right now. This past week we also had, I said last week that my bud was all the Rosie celebrations coming up. So we had Rose family birthday party at my in-laws house, which was beyond anything. It was so lovely. My mother-in-law, that is like her creme de la creme. She's so good at doing themed parties, and it was absolutely amazing. And me and Trevor both like started crying at Rose's reaction to everything. It was more emotional than I thought it was going to be, but in a good way, of course. um just always feels so nice when you have those emotional moments. Like, sometimes it feels overwhelming, like, oh my gosh, it's all happening so fast, but then it feels so nice to know that you love something when someone, and just love so much. Like, that is such a nice reminder. But it was so fun. We had played a bunch of different party games, and the funny thing was this in the morning. So Ro is about birthdays. Like, she is a birthday girl. I feel like ever since like her birthday last year, she's just been obsessed with birthdays. We play pretend birthday all the time. Anytime someone else has a birthday, she's like so excited about it. Her like favorite form of imaginative play is like thinking about birthday things or like planning birthdays for her stuffies. I don't know, she just loves birthdays. And so I feel like she's been talking about what she wants for her birthday for so long. And you're always like, okay, yeah. Like, I'm going to remember that. Okay, I needed to start writing it down because I'm so happy we have this one first birthday, and then her actual birthday's this weekend, and we're doing something fun because that, like, anything we missed, I can like pick up the slack on this birthday we're doing this upcoming weekend. And so uh that morning she was like, I'm so excited. Like, she's been really wanting chocolate cake, whipped cream, and strawberries. And I already told my mother-in-law, I was like, okay, like, she really wants chocolate cake, whipped cream, and strawberries. So I knew that was like in the bag. But another thing that she really wanted that I totally forgot about was a piñata. And so that morning, out of nowhere, she was like, oh yeah, there's gonna be a piñata. And she was like so excited. And I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot. And I was like, oh, it might not be at this birthday. It'll be, she knows she's doing a surprise birthday for her birthday. Might be a surprise. And she's like, oh yeah. Anyways, didn't say anything because it was literally the morning of, to my mother-in-law. And we get there, and then all of a sudden they're like, okay, now let's bring something else out. And it was a piñata. How perfect. Also, I hear Rowie awake. Fun fact, this closet wall, or this, I guess, studio, it's not called a closet. This studio wall shares a wall with Ro's closet. And I feel like Ro always goes into her closet first thing in the morning. She just likes hanging out in there, pick out an outfit and all that stuff. So I can hear her. I wonder if she can hear me. Rosie, can you hear me? No answer. Imagine. That would be so funny to be like, what the heck is that? Anywho, yeah, so the party was so much fun and it was just like perfection, and Ro absolutely loved it, grinning from ear to ear. And it was just such a lovely time to celebrate with family. So I'm trying to think what else we really got up to this weekend, or I guess this week in general. Ro and Trevor went to go see a movie on Sunday night, a late night movie. I call it late night because they went at 6 p.m. and Ro's bedtime is typically 7. So she came home after her bedtime, but they apparently loved it. And then I got the house to myself and I literally just sat on my phone, I think, and scrolled TikTok. I'm in a very scrolly TikTok mood, and I find it's okay sometimes for me to do that. But then I have to like put a stop to it. And I think I'm almost at that stop point because this morning I woke up at, I told you, 4:45, and I went on my phone. And that's when it's a bad thing, when I go on my phone. Then like I need to not do that first thing in the morning. I need to like have, I like when it's like at the end of the day I've done so much stuff, like, whoo, sorry, or like I've gotten my list done, I've had fun with the family, I feel fulfilled in every other element, and then it's like, oh, I want a little comfort and go on TikTok and like catch up with all the people I follow. Like that's how I like it. But it's a very slippery slope from there. So I think I'm at the point where I need to like stop doing that. I also have so much content I'm trying to consume television wise, which we'll get to in the entertainment recap. But I feel like I have so much stuff that I'm trying, and I'm like avoiding it because it's just overwhelming. So I need to like have a proper schedule. Anywho, oh, Rowie and Albie are definitely awake. I don't know if the mic is picking them up, but you can hear them running around. Albie sleeps with Ro. They're the cutest. Anywho, let's get into my snack of the week. Okay. My snack of the week is just making cutie little trail mixes from your local bulk food store, which I'm learning on TikTok that not everyone has like a bulk food type thing. Ours here in Canada, I'm pretty sure I don't know if it's a full Canadian thing or an Ontario thing, is called Bulk Barn, and it is so good. We also have a few other ones. Like there's the ones in like random malls that are called like Bits and Bites or Bits and Bobs. I don't remember. But yeah, I feel like bulk food stores are pretty, like Bulk Barn is the chain one, but there's like other ones. And I feel like they're pretty available. Like pretty much every town would for sure have one, but like multiple even. Um, but basically they're just like a food store that has like a bunch of different bulk food that you put in bags, and like you weigh out however much you want. You don't have to weigh it, but like you get however much you want, however many scoops you want. And it has like so many snacks, and it has like all the baking stuff, all your grains, all your seeds, all your dried fruit, all your chips. Like it has so much options. uh yeah, so I've been really enjoying going there. And Trevor loves trail mix. Like he's such a seeds and nut guy. Like I'm not that much of it. I'm gonna say I'm probably more now that I've like been with Trevor and had that exposure in my life. Like I will eat dried fruit and nuts and whatever, but like not to the extent this dude will. Like he would have trail mix every day of his life. So I've been making him a weekly trail mix. It's been so fun. And then I've been picking up different treats. And this week's that like is the standout is the sour grape candy. If you have never had sour grape candy, you gotta have it. It's so good. I'm like not a grape candy girl, but sour grape candy, oh, it's so good. Sorry, I'm yawning again. This is the morning episode. This is what it would be like if I was doing a morning show. No, you would have to be like so on, teeth brushed, makeup on, hair done. But yeah, so let's get into our drink of the week. Bun-da-da-da. A jar of water. I've been waiting to sip this, but I didn't want to spoil the surprise. Delicious. I was going to make, well, I'm not going to tell you what I was going to make because I'll probably make it next week. But at first, I actually went to the store and I was like, oh, yeah, my drink of the week when I went grocery shopping this week. And I couldn't think of anything I wanted. And then there was something I knew I had at home and I was like, oh, I want to make that. But then obviously this morning I didn't want to go make it because I feel like your kid knows when you're awake. I don't know if any of you have kids and feel the same way, but like I feel like Ro knows when I'm awake. She just knows it. Also, the kitchen is right under her bedroom, and we live in an old house and it's loud. And like she's a really good sleeper, but like if she's awake and just chilling in her room and she hears the coffee machine turn on, then she's like, okay, it's a wake up time. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna have my jar of water that I keep on my nightstand. I actually went and topped it up with bathroom cold water. If you don't know, the bathroom faucet cold water is the best water. I everywhere I've gone, it is always prime. So that's a fun fact. But yeah, so I'm having a jar of water, which is a very realistic drink of the week. I drink this all the time. Oh, cheers. I cheers the mic. Mm. I also had an interesting TikTok come up on my page the other day that said that you shouldn't keep keep open water containers on your bedside table, and then go to sleep and then wake up and drink from it, because apparently water collects energies and then you're drinking the energies. I don't know fully what that means, but if that's something that you worry about, consuming the wrong energies, that maybe you're detoxing throughout the night, then it could be in your water. I like, I was like, I don't know. Hopefully I'm going to bed with it. I always try to go to bed with a clear mind and not too many bad energies, but what can you do? I also enjoy drinking out of an open glass container. You are what you are, you do what you do. I'm just kidding. That's not a saying. Like you can be whoever you want. You don't have to be what you are. You can change and grow and evolve. And I feel like that's all about what this week's episode is about. So now that we've done all of those things, let's get into the real meat and potatoes, the main course, and get into this week I learned. I need to clear my throat. I just cleared my throat in the most interesting way. I like covered my mouth and then moved this way. If you're watching on YouTube, you saw. Anyways, this week I learned. This week I learned that we are capable of change. I feel like I learned that all the time, but I learned the importance of keeping calm and moving on. I guess I want to give you a little bit of a background. I feel like I've always been a bit of a loose cannon when it comes to those last minute situations, or not situations, but like like when you're put in a situation of pressure and you just feel like you literally can't move forward unless you have like an explosive moment. Like I feel like that's me. Anytime something discomfort, or I feel like that was me. I feel like anytime like I felt discomfort or attacked, or attacked, obviously we're talking like not literally. If you're being attack like well, actually I probably wouldn't attack, but I mean we're talking about situations where we don't need to have explosive moments, like just a little bit of discomfort, or you didn't get your way, or bad things keep happening, or you just like can't see the good in a situation, or you're just like so overwhelmed sensory wise, and then one thing happens and it just like makes you let loose, or like you're trying to print something and then the printer runs out of ink, like situations like that, discomfort, all of those, I would like literally explode, and that was like my coping technique. Not a good one. And I feel like that was me as a kid and then as an adult. And obviously less to like, this is for the people in my life, or even just for myself. Like this is how I would react to myself, but I wouldn't react to strangers like this necessarily, but definitely to like the close comforting people in my life, Trevor, my family, like people like that. They would see this side of me. Yeah, and I just want to say that it's been years, literally years. I feel like I got really good at this. Even in the summer, I thought I was doing so much better. But where I am from the summer to now, day and night. So like it's a slow journey. And I think the first thing is awareness. Awareness that the way you react is not the way that you want to react. Like that's something about a reaction is actually more discomforting after the fact than that than the thing that made you feel the discomfort in the first place. Because I feel like I would feel discomfort and then I would have this explosive reaction, and then I would come down from it and I would feel, I don't know if it was shame maybe, but or I would feel like worse for the reaction to the thing that made me discomfort. And so like it wasn't making me feel better, so it wasn't a good coping mechanism because it was just making the situation worse. And so awareness, I think, is a really big thing. And I feel like I've been aware of the discomfort it brought me for probably since like my adulthood for sure. I think as a kid, probably not. Maybe, I don't know. But like definitely since becoming an adult. Um, and I felt a lot of discomfort after the fact that I had that explosive moment. I think, especially entering like a relationship outside of your family, like being with Trevor. So, probably since then, because I feel like with your family, a lot of things just like kind of go, right? Because like we're all our worst selves with our family because you're with them all the time. Not all the time you're your worst self, but you will eventually break at some point. Um, but I think ever since being in a serious relationship and like getting to that point with Trevor where he would see like all of me and I would see all of him, and just like probably then maybe I'd feel probably shame. Like I feel like that's probably what it was in my reactions, but then also just like looking inwards and realizing like, this isn't making me feel better, having that explosive moment of frustration and anger and just like taking it out on everyone around you, yourself. um it doesn't feel good and it doesn't fix anything, and it makes the discomfort of the initial issue last way longer than it would have in the first place. And so having that awareness and then realizing what is the discomfort and then wanting to change, like I think that is the big like pipeline to success there. Is that you need to have that want to change, and I definitely did. And I definitely do have that still. Like, I still now, obviously, after reaping the benefits of like the work, I yearn to continue doing that because it is day and night difference on how I take on problems and discomfort in my life. And it feels so good. And I feel like it truly is making me a happier, more joy filled human being. So, yeah, having that want to change. And then that goes to mindset. So now you need to put in place that successful mindset, which means that you are supporting yourself through these transitions and figuring out why the reaction is not good. So, discomfort happens. Let's do an example. Like, honestly, I would do this for the smallest things, but let's say I was baking and I burnt something, and then that would just make me feel like, okay, so it wasn't just I was baking, I was burning something. Let's say I was cooking dinner. So I had a burner on for pasta noodles, I had a burner on for sauce, I was making a salad. So I'm like doing all these things, and then the sauce is burning and everything else is going fine. But I feel absolutely overwhelmed by the situation because I have three things going on and my sauce is burning. So now I'm feeling overwhelmed and I'm trying to rack through my brain, how can I fix this? How can I fix this? Do we have more tomatoes? Do we have more this? What? And I'm realizing like we don't have an instant fix for what the issue is. And then I will just lose my shiz, like lose it. And I just feel like I turn off, I shut down. I can't continue with the salad. I can't continue with the noodles. Then the timer's going off. I'm trying to focus on this, but I'm also trying to not lose my shiz. Then the timer's going off for the noodles. Then Trevor's next to me, and I'm like, like, why is this happening? Make it a big deal. Trevor's like, it's okay. I'm gonna be here. I'll help you. I'll support you. Like, what do I need? But I like can't move past the rage that I am feeling to delegate and be like, okay, can you help with this pasta, or can you do the noodles? And then Trevor can take that one off my plate. The salad can wait. It's not cooking. And then I can break down, okay, why don't we just do like a lemon butter pasta because we have butter, lemon, whatever. Anyways, I can't break down to move to the like fixing the situation issue. And then I just melt down, and then it ruins the rest of my night and it's horrible. And then I feel a lot of guilt after, and I feel like I really didn't handle that well. So that would be like my traditional mindset when it came to these reactions. And like the actual issue at hand was that um, I just didn't have the coping mechanisms, and I didn't have that mindset in place to know that you can then lean on other people, and then ultimately to know that, okay, let's say you burnt your pasta and then you're just gonna have, let's say all you had then was noodles and salad. It's still okay. Like literally, it's fine. And you can always order takeout, or you can always know that there'll be another meal. There'll be in the next meal. Like, ultimately, it would have been fine. Like, it wasn't the end of the world. Nobody was going to get hurt. It would have been fine. So, changing your mindset to just know that in those situations where you feel like the world is ending, that was what it would feel like for me when I would have these like absolutely explosive reactions where I could just like shut down and could not continue. Like, I would just see red and could not continue. That's what it felt like in those moments, was that the world was ending. But shifting your mindset to know that like when that happens, the world is not ending. And I think truly practice is the best way, because once you switch your mindset to know that like, okay, remind myself the world is not ending, the world is not ending, it will be okay, we will move on. Think, help train your mind to think of ways to problem solve in situations like that, whatever it is in the situation. Oh, okay, like we have butter, we can just use butter, or like, oh, we have this, or oh, we have another jar of sauce. Like, train yourself to think how to problem solve in those moments. You're setting yourself up for success. Then next is reminders. I think you just need to constantly remind yourself that you might, like, let's say you have 3 things that are frustrating that happen in one day. You might get through 2 of them, but you might not get through the last one. And then you just remind yourself, "Wow, you got through those 2 and it felt fantastic. And the last one, it's okay. There's tomorrow." We have our mindset, we're practicing, and we're getting better. Literally, you're getting better. Before, you could not get through anything, and now you got through 2. That's amazing. So just giving yourself those reminders and those encouragements. And I think once you have that all in place and you start to practice, that's where the real success comes. Because once you get through one thing where you would typically have like an explosive reaction, it feels like literal walking on clouds. Like, you feel like you're on cloud 9. You feel angelic. You feel like you're dressed in gold and glowing white, and you're just like floating through life. Like, literally, it feels amazing to get to the other side of a discomfort where you would typically have a fiery reaction, and just know that you got to the other side and literally the world went on. Everything continued, and you feel so much better, because even though you had to experience that discomfort, you only experienced it for a blip. And now you feel like you can take on the world, because each problem that comes at you, you know that you can get through it, and that there's another side, and that you don't have to be the person to make it worse for yourself. You really don't. You really shouldn't be the person to make it worse for yourself. And it just feels so good to foster that new mindset and just get to the other side. Like, oh, and that the more you do that, you might have days where it's worse, or weeks or months or times in your life where it's worse. But the more you continue to push and foster that mindset that you can get to the other side, it will be like day and night. And so I felt like I was there. Like, last summer, I remember clearly there was like this time where I just felt like so much bad stuff was happening around me, and I just felt like I kept rolling with the punches. It was like, we're moving on, we're moving on. But those were like big bad things, like when we got our car stolen, when I had that health scare where I fell down the stairs. Like, all of those things were happening really close to each other, and they were big bad things. And I feel like when it's big bad things like that, you really, at the end of the day, like, I feel like I know that like I can't, if you can't do anything about it, you got to move on. Like, there's literally nothing I can do about it. Then where I found my issue, this like from summer to now, where I feel like I've been like really trying to focus in on, is things where I make silly mistakes, where it could have been a different outcome if I hadn't done something, or if I had paid attention, or if I had tried not to do so many things at once. Like, little things like that, or if I had given myself more time, little things like that, that's where I'm trying um to improve. And I feel like I have, like, really in the past like month, I feel like there's been so many situations where it's been like silly little mistakes that I made, and typically I would feel really, like, I guess it is shame, like, I don't know what it is, but like I would feel really, I beat myself out up off for it, and that would make me want to take that out on someone else, or even just take it out like around me, just be like in such a bad mood all day, and then people would feel that bad mood, like, you know what I mean? But I feel like I have really just learned that honestly, I can't like the problem has already happened, and me making myself feel worse is not helping in any way. It's making it feel way worse. And I know that like this is not going to make me do better the next time. What will make me do better is like, okay, I realized that because this happened, because I didn't give myself enough time to leave the house, I was late for this. And that's why I'm feeling this like discomfort and boiling in me. And what I can do next time is know that I need to leave 5 minutes earlier, give myself at least 30 minutes or whatever. That's literally, you just problem solve right there and you make the plan for the next time and then know that it's going to be better next time. Like, there's no point in making the bad feel bad for longer and longer and longer. There really, 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 really isn't. And I feel like I now have really gotten to the point where it's just like, live, love, let loose. Like just let it go. And it feels so freeing. It feels so good. And I guess this is my reminder for you that if you feel like you're in a place where you're very reactive and you hold on to things, especially that have to do with you maybe letting a situation down, and you know you could have done better in it, um but you didn't in that one instance, and then that makes you feel this like guilt or ruin your mood for the day or for a time or whatever, and have a reaction to it. Just know that I have been there, and I'm sure I will be there again. I don't think that growing is ever linear. I think it goes up and down. We talk about this all the time. But like, I have been there where every single thing like that has been a ruler in my life, a ruler in my mood, a ruler in the way that I let myself live and let the people around me experience me. Just know that I have been there fully, fully. And it feels so good to just be doing the work and being in the mindset of you can let go and life continues. It's going to continue no matter what. And if you can change that reactiveness into just letting it go and knowing that you can do better next time, if that's this type of situation, or if it's a situation where something happened and there's nothing you could have done about it, just knowing that there's nothing you could have done about it and life is going to continue, like it is heavenly. Like it truly feels euphoric. What does euphoric mean? I'm like thinking of the show Euphoria and I'm like, what does that mean? Euphoric, characterized intense excitement. Yes, it literally feels like that. Sorry, it's intense happiness or excitement. But like it truly does feel like that. And it does for people who are reactive. When you get to that other side, it is that excitement. It feels like a reward and it is really, really lovely. So I think that it has really helped to make me feel more joyous and make me feel more calm and at ease and less, um, what is the word I'm trying to think of? Like less up and down, like less. I'm trying to think of what the word is. You know, when you're like drastic, less, I were like less from one side to the other side. Like I feel like I'm more neutral and I'm less one day terrifying, the other day so happy, one day so sad. Like less drastic changes in my emotions. And it just helps me to have more of a bounce, more of a flow from each thing, from happy to sad to angry to everything. Like I feel like there's more of a flow and everything's more connected, and I just have more that I'm trying to explain it as like really like gliding through life instead of having like a fall to the ground. It's more of a gentle bounce and then back up. Life keeps moving. And I'm not saying like push your emotions aside or push what you're feeling aside. Like it takes work. And I think now like my mindset truly is in a place where it's like, oh, what can you do? And you just got to move on. And that's not at all what it used to be like. So if this is something that you're considering, like, or feeling like in your life, you feel like, oh, why am I so stressed out and always on edge? And just like any little setback just like sends me in a spiral. That's where I was. And so if you're feeling like that, know that there can be change and that there's like, you just really need to have that awareness moment. Why do you not like that feeling? What is the discomfort? and then wanting that change, and then you're gonna be on your journey. I'd love to know if there's any ways you um, that you experience this discomfort in life, like just general discomfort in life, and how you work through it. If you have any great coping mechanisms, because I think it's always good to just fill up your pockets full of resources for you to reach in, metaphorically, reach in and have for when different situations happen. And know that it's not linear. There will be ups and downs and there'll be setbacks, and that's part of life. And that's also part of the mindset of like, it is what it is, and you just got to continue. Sometimes you have a bad day and bad things happen, and that's even harder. But what I've learned on bad days, when I'm feeling not good, like when I'm having a bad day and then bad things happen, um, I just learned that tomorrow is a new day. That's a really big one for me. Tomorrow is a new day, especially when I'm having those down days and those bad days where I just feel like I just don't feel myself. It's like tomorrow is a new day, and that usually really like helps. Really. But yeah, so that's what I learned this week. Keep calm and move on. Okay, let's get into our roses, thorns, and buds. Roses, thorns, and buds. Okay, so obviously my rose this week was the birthday party. It literally could not. It was just absolute perfection. It was so fun, and I just loved seeing Ro and being with family. It was perfect. My thorn, I feel like this is another week where I sat down to do this and I was like, what was my thorn this week? What was it? I actually can't think of a thorn. And that's 2 weeks in a row where I've like really racking my brain for a thorn. And that is a um, true expression of how I'm feeling right now. Like, I feel like ever since I've really been able to just like keep calm and move on, life has been really joy filled. And that's from someone who like is pretty joy filled in one way or another, but I don't know, like I'm just feeling so good right now. And I'm trying to also change my mindset from like any time that I feel good or something good is happening, I'm always like, oh, don't jinx it, don't say it. Like, but I'm trying to really just like embrace it. Like, be proud of what the moment you're feeling is right now, because I just feel like before Christmas was down, down, downhill, and now it's like feeling so good right now. And I just want to like embrace it and love it and love on it. But, anyways, back to my thorn. What is my thorn this week? Hmm. Hmm. Oh my gosh, I literally can't think of a thorn. You know what? It's gotten really cold. Like, I mean, it is January. It should be cold, but I feel like it's gotten so cold. Like, for a while there, it felt like spring. Like every day you could like go out without a coat on, but now you definitely need like coat, hat, mitts at least to have with you. Yeah, but I'm not that mad at it being cold. It is the winter. Okay, and then my bud is this weekend. We're going away on a little surprise getaway with my mom and Trevor and Ro for her birthday, and I'm so excited. Like, I'm literally so excited. It's a total surprise. She has no idea. I just can't wait. She loves surprises. She loves this type of stuff, and I'm just so excited. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to the second half of this week, like Thursday and Friday, where I start getting us all organized and packed up and ready for the thing, and just like get into that mindset. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, let's get into our entertainment recap. Entertainment recap. Oh, I'm also realizing I didn't do my snack of the week. Sorry, friends. At the beginning of this episode, I was literally just waking up, so you gotta. I'm sorry. Anywho, let's get into our entertainment recap. Entertainment recap. Okay, so I've been watching One Tree Hill. I am still in the first season, but I'm further through it than I think I am. I don't remember what episode, but I feel like the episodes go by pretty quickly. I think they're 40 minutes. So at first I thought they were an hour. So I guess that's why they're going by quicker. I have two observations so far. Anytime I talk to anyone about One Tree Hill, they're always like, "Oh, are you Lucas or Nathan?" So it's a show where you have to choose a boy. And at first, like in the first 2 or 3 episodes, I was like, I don't understand how you could be Nathan. He seems like really dickish. But I think I'm definitely Nathan over Lucas as of now, but I believe that it'll probably change as it goes. They both definitely have their issues. Um, but Nathan at least has a little bit more of a loving, caring side to him, where I feel like Lucas, I don't know, he needs to experience something, a little more life, I feel. He just like feels very sheltered in some sense of the way. Not that it's bad to not, I don't know how to explain it. But anyways, so right now Nathan, but then also another observation I have in this show is that they leave no room for the imagination. Like when it comes to issues, like they answer it within the episode. I don't know, like so let's say there's like a problem and it's like okay, for this is a good example. So like Nathan and his dad, they clearly have this like bad relationship. Nathan like puts all this pressure on Nathan to play, or Nathan's dad put all this pressure on Nathan to play basketball, and Nathan's like, why do I have to, like, that's the only way he shows love. So Nathan's like, oh my gosh, I'm not good at basketball, my dad's not gonna love me. But then at the same time it's like your dad's kind of a deek. But anyways, there's this episode where like Nathan's dad's dad, so Nathan's grandpa, comes to visit, and it's literally a replica of what the issue is, but between the dad and the grandpa. And it's like Nathan was going to be good at basketball. Nathan's dad or grandpa was like, you have to be better, whatever. Anyways, it was they have the exact same relationship, and you're like, okay, it's generational trauma. Got it. But like, you obviously knew that's what it was, but like they really just feed the answers to you. Like they just put it on a silver platter and they just like give you all the answers to everyone's problems. And I feel like that's for everything. Like anytime, well, they don't give you the answers in the way of how to fix it necessarily, but they give you exactly why the issue exists. And I feel like they do that for everything. So it's just interesting. I feel like every episode's like that. Like there's like an issue of the episode, and then they reveal every single thing that would have led to why that's happening. I don't know if that makes sense, but I just feel like they don't leave like too much room for the imagination, which is fine. It's definitely a bit of a corny show, but I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. I'm not going to say I'm totally hooked yet, but that's because I feel like I'm not giving myself the opportunity to be totally hooked. I also haven't really had too much time to like just watch shows. I feel like I've been really busy all of a sudden, but I'm excited to feel that hooked because everyone says they love One Tree Hill, and I love when people love a comfort show. I want to love it too. Okay, that being said, uh-oh, my comfort show, my personal comfort show is back for a winter season. Love Island UK is doing a winter season. I have my friend Rachel, who's like the Love Island cutie. She knows everything about Love Island. She helps me understand when I first was watching Love Island, what seasons to watch first, all of that stuff. But I saw it and I was like, wait, I'm confused. Why is there new Love Island? Like, is it uploading wrong, or I don't know what's happening? Because it was like getting pushed to the front of the like, you should watch this. And then I was like, hey, I need to talk to Rachel. So I talked to her and she was like, oh, yeah. So, like, in 2020, they did a winter season, but then obviously the pandemic happened. So, like, they never picked it up again. But I guess they brought it back now. And so, originally, Love Island takes place in Spain, but this one is in South Africa. And it's still like Love Island. Like, it's Love Island, but South Africa, UK, like, all the same. So far, I'm 2 episodes in, and it's literally like, feels like it's going to be good. So, I'm so excited. It takes me like, you have to get through a bombshell and then a couple, but they did a bombshell in the first episode, this one, so it was a little confusing. But it takes like at least like a week for me to really get into Love Island. But then once I'm in it, I'm in it. But I'm also watching it like almost in real time. I'm about a week out, or 2 weeks. I have 2 weeks to catch up on. So that'll be good because that'll slow me down. Then I can only watch an episode a day. You know what I mean? So it'll get me back into One Tree Hill, hopefully. Not that I'm not in it, but I'm trying to do Love Island right now. But that's for all my Love Island cuties out there. Just so you know, there's a winter season. There's a winter season. And I just like don't know how to feel about that. Like, is it going to be too much when I get to summer? Because remember last summer I could like not watch Love Island. I was like not in the right mindset. So I waited till the fall. So I feel like, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how I feel this summer. But yeah, that's what I'm watching. I honestly have given up on The Spare. I haven't fully given up, like, but I have not listened to it for a while because I told you I have to listen to it um when I'm like in certain situations, and I haven't had any like long drives or like long getting ready or anything like that. But we'll see. We'll see. I would like to listen to it, but I just don't. Maybe the next time I go on a long drive, I will pop it on. But other than that, I don't think there's anything in specific I'm watching. I told you I've been in a bad, or almost on the cusp of a bad scrolling too much time on my phone. So I will be switching to watching more things soon, like watching more of One Tree Hill and Love Island soon. And then as for music, I feel like I have added so many fun. I did put a really fun throwback. I'm like really in an Arctic Monkeys mood recently. Song on our playlist, and another one that's like so fun that I've been really into. So go follow our Spotify playlist over on 5 Years Time Spotify. It's always linked below. And then you can check up and catch up on our weekly vlog on YouTube. If you're watching here on YouTube, then it's an easy click away. If you're on podcast, I will link it below in the show notes. Subscribe over there. And then on Instagram, I am still being active and enjoying. I'm starting to put all my links together. It's going to take time, but I feel like people over the span of TikTokers like, where's this from? Where's that mandolin from? All these things. And I'm trying to like slowly link it into one area so everyone can just access it. And then I can just be like, go check the links. So I'm slowly doing that. But if there's anything specific you want a link for, please let me know, because like it's hard for me to remember and like it feels really overwhelming trying to do it. Like it's like, oh my gosh, I don't know where to start. So if there's anything that I've ever used that you specifically want to know, please let me know, and I will try and find a link and put it in a situation, a one easy click in my link tree. But yes, thank you so much for being here for a morning episode. It is officially 7 a.m. We have the day ahead of us. I'm going to go make coffee and have breakfast. Ro and Trevor up. I can hear them downstairs. And yeah. Oh yeah, we're having bagel bar for breakfast. I forgot. I was literally just going to say, what did I do for breakfast prep this week? But we're doing bagel bar. So I'm going to go have some bagel with cream cheese. And I have to decide if I want a sweet bagel or a savory bagel. I gotta sneeze. Excuse me. I was like, didn't have time to not sneeze there. Anyways, I'm gonna go eat a bagel, and I think I'm gonna do smoked salmon because we have some leftover dill. Ooh, baby. Oh, and I have red onion frozen in my freezer, already sliced up, so I can put some onion on there too. Delish, and from fresh cracked pepper. Okay, wishing you all a beautiful week ahead and sending lots of love. I'll see you back next Wednesday for more podcast. And then obviously you can go catch up with me throughout the week over on Instagram and TikTok. Love you lots, cuties, and let's keep calm and move on. Mwah!